looking for her first name here, and let's see. Yes. Miss Sterling's efforts to rescue the area began in 1926 when she learned of a plan to demolish the Avila adobe, the oldest existing home in the city. After raising the issue with Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce, Sterling approached Harry Chandler, the publisher of the Los Angeles Times, with a plan to create a Mexican marketplace and cultural center in the plaza. Chandler was intrigued by the idea of packaging the plaza area as replica of the city's past, though in reality only a romanticized version. Yes, paved streets and bricks and things like that. Very romanticized. He helped by providing extensive publicity and supporting the development of the plan in the Times. However, in 1928, due to lack of financial support for implementing her ideas, the project appeared to be doomed. In late November, Sterling discovered a Los Angeles City Health Department notice of condemnation posted in front of the Avila adobe. In response, she posted her own hand-painted sign condemning the short-sightedness of city bureaucrats in failing to preserve an important historical site. Her act helped attract additional public interest in preserving the old adobe. So, in spite of ample supplies and forced volunteers, the project lacked solid financial backing until Chandler came forward with capital for the project through funds collected at a $1,000 a plate luncheon with selected businessmen. Chandler established and headed the Plaza de Los Angeles Corporation, a for-profit venture which became the financial basis for restoration of Plaza Olvera. The street was closed to traffic in 1929. So it's this area that is basically closed to traffic, and it's bricks, and it's full of these carts and semi-permanent stands that sell authentic Mexican goods. Over across the way from actual Olvera Street is a square where artists play their music, and there are dances from ancient Mexican tribal ways, tribal things. And so on Easter Sunday, 1930, Sterling's romantic revival came to pass with the opening of Paseo de los Angeles, which later became popularly known by its official street name, Olvera Street. Touted as a Mexican street of yesterday and a city of today, Olvera Street was an instant success as a tourist site. So, at present day, Olvera Street is home to more than 36 restaurants, vendors, and public establishments. The American Planning Association named it one of the top 5 great streets in the United States for 2015. As part of El Pueblo de Los Angeles Historic Monument, which is on the National Register of Historic Places, they recognize that it was once the heart of Mexican farming and community life in the area. So it's situated in the center of downtown, home to dozens of craft shops, restaurants, and businesses with roving troubadours. The pedestrian mall is a block-long, narrow tree-shaded, brick-lined marketplace where some merchants were descended from the original vendors who opened shops when Olvera Street was created in 1930. The exterior facades of the brick buildings enclosing Olvera Street, on the small vendor stands lining its center, are colorful piñatas, hanging puppets in white peasant garb, Mexican pottery, serapes, mounted bullhorns, and oversized sombreros. Olvera Street attracts almost 2 million visitors per year, who can find the customs and trades of the Mexican and Latino traditions of Los Angeles commemorated in a walkable outdoor shopping mall. As a tourist attraction, Olvera Street pays homage to a romantic version of old Mexico. Okay, so now that you have a little bit of the history, excuse me, of this historic site, let me tell you about my experience. Once again, took the train, took one train down there, because Olvera Street happens to be across the street from Los Angeles' Union Station, which is where everything boards and starts and stops, basically. So, go across, looking around, and then I see a notice on the side of a building. And it is basically for top 100 things to see in Los Angeles, and it has a taquito in color. Why would you say a taquito? Well, this little building called El Cielito Lindo was founded in 1934 as a restaurant and was the first Mexican restaurant in the United States. I kid you not, I shit you not. This is the first Mexican restaurant in the United States. So if you love to eat Mexican food, you can thank the people of El Cielito Lindo for bringing their craft to Olvera Street. The taquito that they make, which is basically a corn tortilla rolled around shredded beef and fried, served with avocado sauce and a side of beans for about $7.50. You get 3 of them. Is absolutely delicious. Better than anything you will find around the corner, down the street. Because I don't know about you guys, but here in Los Angeles, you throw a rock and it skips on 2 Mexican restaurants' roofs. We got plenty of them. If we don't have Mexican restaurants, we have taco stands. And if we don't have taco stands, we have carts. And if we don't have carts, we have some other form of distribution of Mexican food. It's huge out here. So, I mean, the place is small. It's utilizing older style cooking methods. But the taste is wonderful. You can taste the 80 plus years of experience put into everything. It's absolutely delicious, and it's a wonderful place. And it's where the taquito was invented. So next time you go to the supermarket and you grab a box of frozen taquitos, think of those folks at El Cielito Lindo that actually invented the rolled taco, as we call them out here in Southern California. Aside from the food, there is quite a bit of amazing history on Olvera Street, as I read, but I also did a little bit of my own research. I went into a museum of social justice, which is downstairs from the aforementioned church, and saw some very interesting looks at Chicano life in the 60s and 70s. There was actually a publication released solely for Chicanos that had I think it's called Conces, I believe, if I remember correctly. And it was a magazine basically dedicated to the Chicano struggle in Southern California. And I had no idea that this was all so powerful back in the day. I mean, there are ties to the Vietnam War. There are ties to numerous different conflicts. There were numerous different conflicts down here dealing with Chicano life and things like that. And it gave me a bit more of an understanding as to the depth of the Mexican culture here in Los Angeles. I mean, it is really eye-opening. I consider myself on immigration to be a real proponent of basically you do it legally or you don't do it at all. You're breaking the law if you cross that border. And I am full staunch supporter. But the people who were born here, I mean, there are numerous cases of just pure racism, just pure hatred for Chicanos, just because of their skin color. I mean, for instance, you look at Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium is kind of Latinos have taken the Dodgers on as their own. Latinos love the Dodgers. Some people say the Angels are better, but it's simply geography. Dodger Stadium is in a place called Chavez Ravine, which was an old barrio from way back, and Angel Stadium is in the middle of Wonder White Bread, Anaheim. So, speaking just based on geography, you got to think, well, where are the Chicanos and the Latinos going to go? They're going to go to a place that's near to them and near and dear to their heart. What I did not originally understand was that the Chicano population was actually dragged out, forcibly by the city leaders to create Dodger Stadium. They were relocated and not paid enough money for their land. And I think it's a shame, These are people who came here before there was really any immigration, so they weren't breaking any laws. They lived here while California was in possession of Mexico. California was in possession of Mexico. I did say that right. And they were forcibly removed from their homes. So, the bottom line, the way I think of it, is that after seeing all of this, now granted, eminent domain and possession is 9/10 of the law, but my God, some real bad breaks for the Mexican-American population here. Some real bad breaks. But Olvera Street also celebrates the culture of Mexico. Celebrates the culture of the people from south of the border. A very unique culture blended from the Spanish and the Native American Aztecan people. It's really an interesting culture. And all the little shops, they carry basically the same stuff. They carry, the dresses and the serapes and the big ponchos, and they carry all of these things. But Miss Sterling, when she founded this area and put forth so much effort, had one rule. And she said that all of these goods that are sold here have to be from Mexico. So you also get some of the prepackaged shit that comes from Mexico at these stands, like the knockoff Barbie dolls and the knockoff wrestling dolls. I thought that was really funny. I thought that was super funny. But, yeah, walking through there, it's like you just get transported to a new place. And it's really, really fun, and it's really, really something to see. And just down the way, if Mexican stuff is not your thing, they have Chinatown one way and Little Japan, Little Tokyo the other way. So you go left, you go to Chinatown. You go right, you go to Little Tokyo. Lots of culture in that area, and I'm looking forward to visiting those areas myself. So great time yesterday down at Olvera Street. Picked up a few things. Got myself some Mexican Coke, which, by the way, if you've never had a Mexican Coke, trust me on this. I know there are a lot of people out there from many different parts of the country, if not the world. Find a way to get yourself a Mexican Coke, because their formula is a lot closer to what was originally Coke than what Coke is today, if that makes any sense. And it's delicious. Absolutely delicious. And no, there's no cocaine in it. It's not that original. But yes, it is absolutely delicious. All right, so when we come back, actually, right now I'm going to debut a brand new segment. I haven't even made a sweeper for this yet. This is a segment called LA Licks, where basically I take the initiative, take the bull by the horns, get a hold of an artist on Bandcamp and say, hey, you're from Los Angeles and I like your sound. Can I play you? And if they say yes, then away we go. If they say no, then on to the next one. But luckily, I struck gold with my first choice. Now, for folks of you who've been fans of mine for I don't know how long, you know about my musical I guess you could say acumen, the way I do music, the way I love music, what I love as far as music goes. And this band is called Bleached, as in bleached your hair. Sisters Jennifer and Jessie Clavin grew up deep in the San Fernando Valley. I know all about the San Fernando Valley. What a magical, mystical, fucked up place. It is something else out there. And they became teenaged underground staples of all ages downtown DIY venue The Smell, which is actually where guys like Pat Smear from Foo Fighters honed their craft before joining Nirvana. After years of sneaking into punk shows over the hill in Hollywood, Bleach originally formed when the Clavin sisters resolved to continue working with each other upon the breakup of their all-girl punk band Mika Miko. So there's a little bit of history there. You go to bleached.bandcamp.com and you will find their latest track and their latest CD, Can You Deal, which you can get as a digital download for only $4. $4. It's a 4-track EP, and proceeds, of course, most of them go to the band.